Graduating is exciting, but figuring out what comes next, that can feel overwhelming. Whether you're still in college, getting ready to graduate, or recently finished your degree and trying to land that first real role, you're not alone. Maybe your resume isn't where you want it to be. LinkedIn feels a little confusing, and everyone keeps asking, what's your plan? That's exactly why this podcast exists. Welcome to SharpHR Real Talk, Careers After College. I'm Karen Sharp Price, founder of SharpHR Career Coaching. Real questions, real strategies. Let's figure this out together. College is an exciting time. You're learning, growing, making friends, and building the foundation for what comes next. But as graduation gets closer, a lot of questions start showing up too. What job will I get? Should I go to grad school? And does everyone else have this figured out except me? The truth is, they don't. Today's episode is all about hearing directly from students who are about to step into that next chapter. We're going to talk about expectations, fears, pressures, and what they've been doing to prepare for careers after college. If you're currently in college, graduating soon, or recently graduated and still figuring things out, this conversation is for you. I'm very excited to welcome two students from Damon University, Chase and Madeline. Welcome.
Good to be
You're
here.
welcome.
I am very excited to have you here to talk about what college students about to graduate are thinking right now. So I would love to have you both introduce yourself and tell us why you chose business administration for your major. Which would like to go first?
I can
Chase, you can go
start.
first.
Yeah, I ultimately chose business administration because it felt like the right fit for me growing up in a family business of my own. Originally, I thought I didn't want to pursue this path, but then I quickly realized that like other things weren't as fulfilling as business for me. And I really liked that sense of family that it incorporates as well. So that's why I chose it.
Okay. And Madeline?
Yeah, so I originally started off as a physician assistant major, and I started off like my rotations and everything because my thought was I love socializing with people. I want to be able to help people. And then I realized I hate touching people, and it kind of grossed me out a little bit. So I did some research and I talked to some family members that I have in the business field, and honestly, it just kind of seemed like a good fit. Like I was trying to navigate if I wanted to go in like what department, if that makes sense. But it really just came down to like I really loved that idea that every day can be a little different. And it's kind of like you get out what you put into it. So I really like that you can kind of have that. It's kind of really up to you as to like where you decide to go with it. So I really like that. And I love business now.
Okay, thank you. And you know what, your story about starting, thinking you know where you're going, and then pivoting to something else is just so common. It happens more often than not. So trying to navigate that or just to understand that it might just happen to you as you start college, it's okay and it's normal and there's lots of opportunities out there. So what is your plans for the week after graduation? A job, still searching, vacation because you've been in school for like 16 years plus or something like that.
Right. For me, I am gonna step right into working a full-time position. Ultimately, I've been working in sales for a while now, so I'm stepping into a management position actually, which is very exciting and it's something new for me. So, scary yet exciting at the same time.
How about you, Madeline?
I'm actually looking to go to grad school. I'm still trying to like narrow it down, kind of explore that. So my week after graduation, I'm going home, just working for the summer and just gonna do what I do every summer, just work until school happens again. But I'm actually looking to go down south for grad school.
Oh, okay. Nice and warm and get away from these really cold,
Yes.
cold winters. I don't blame you at all.
Yeah.
When you picture life after college and careers after college, what does it look like for you? What do you imagine it to be?
I think that for me, I kind of picture a sense of both personal. personal and professional growth. Like as much as I do want to advance in my career, I also think that like growing as a person is something that's really common right after college too. So I think I'll be challenged with new responsibilities like becoming an actual adult. Like I might be 21 right now, but I really don't feel like an adult yet until I kind of step out of the college space. So advancing in both like financial independence and things like that is going to be kind of what I see for myself at least.
And Madeline?
For me, I think I'm kind of in that same boat as Chase. I mean, I'm definitely looking to kind of, I mean, like I said, I mean, I'm still trying to like decide where I want to go to grad school, that sort of thing. So for me, I think it's really about trying to like find a lot of personal growth during that time because I did have that decision to make if I want to just after graduation, if I want to hop right into the field or if I want to continue and get my master's in my MBA. So for me, it was kind of finding that balance. So I think I already did a lot of self-reflection and things like that to figure out what that next step's going to be. But I think personal growth is going to be the next big thing. And I think it kind of is a good transition from like, because the school that I'm looking at provides opportunities within the department to do marketing. So it kind of gives me that opportunity to like start adulting and, doing real work and things like that while also transitioning from like that student, but growing as a person as well.
I think it just automatically like happens because all of a sudden
Yeah.
you don't have you don't always have the class to go to or that you have a job. And I think that one of the things that you both figure out is that you are a lot better prepared than you ever thought you would be because you have this feeling that everybody kind of knows what they're doing or, they're way ahead of you. And you're going to find very quickly that that you fit in and then you really pass them by very quickly too because of all the things that you know and the experiences that you've had. So it is exciting because it's sort of the unknown, but I think that once it just begins, you're going to feel very, very comfortable and ready to go. So what are you most excited about?
I'm really just excited to jump right into a new position at work, especially becoming a full-time employee. I know that's kind of like the opposite of what other people would mostly say, but it's honestly been harder for me to jump back and forth between my work position and college because I feel like things happen while I'm gone and then I kind of am lost when I come back almost like for summers and breaks and things like that. So I'm just excited to have more of a steady schedule because I almost feel like I outgrew college at a point while I was here. Not to say that my education was bad. I'm really grateful for all the opportunities that have been provided to me here. It's just I'm almost ready to take that next step and find things that are applicable from my education to my new work position almost.
And that's a really good feeling that you feel like you outgrew it because I think that means that you're ready.
Right.
You're ready to take that next step.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be easier for you to just
Yeah,
go do one thing instead
I
of
think so too.
balancing both things at the same time. So yeah, I agree with that. How about you, Madeline? What are you most excited about?
Honestly, I am most excited for all of the uncertainty, which is kind of like sounds odd because most people are like, oh my gosh, I don't know what's going to happen next. Like, I'm kind of excited for that because, like, the past 4 years at David, it's like my schedule has been made since freshman year pretty much. Like, I know all my professors, like, I know everyone here, and I love that. And same thing with high school. I went to such a small high school. So, like, I just knew how every year was going to be, and I knew everyone around me. So, kind of like Chase said, like it gets to a point at like in your education where you kind of feel like you've outgrown it a little bit. And I think I'm kind of like nearing that point where I'm like, you know what? Like I loved my time here and like I loved having this opportunity, but I kind of like not like the uncertainty of like what's going to happen next year, who I'm going to meet, what I'm going to end up doing. Cause like that's sometimes like the beauty of it is you never know like what you're going to encounter, what opportunities are going to come up for you. So I think I'm most excited for just kind of seeing where I go and the opportunities that come to me.
Now, I thought that one of you would have said, I'm most excited about never having another exam again or or having
That's
no work.
true.
Now, Madeline will still have probably a little
I
bit,
might have some.
but it'll be a different. Grad school is
Right.
different, so so not so much. So what do you think will be the biggest adjustment for both of you?
Um, Honestly, I think that having to search for continuing education will be the biggest adjustment because it's not necessarily going to be provided to me anymore. So, obviously, the business realm is always changing and adapting. So, if you don't go out and search for these opportunities, you're almost going to become obsolete. So, I think that'll be the biggest challenge is trying to find ways to continue my education without having a structure in that department, I guess. So, it'll be a little bit more of a challenge for me.
And Madeline, what about you?
Um, oh gosh, that's a tricky question. I think for me, it's going to be kind of like that same sort of thing, but obviously not like continuing the education. I think it'll be more of just like I said, like if I'm going down south, like that'll be a big thing for me because like obviously change from lovely Buffalo to, just like we said, like going somewhere new and experiencing. Because I think that's important. Is a lot of people like kind of get wrapped up in like their whole little like bubble. I like to joke that we're in like the Damon bubble here, which I love. But I think it's also important to like experience new things, but I think that also can be very challenging is kind of like forcing yourself to experience all that every work the business world has to offer. So I think that can be a big adjustment.
Right, right. Do you have you know, uh, something that you might be a little, not, I mean, fear might be a strong word to use, but do you have something that you're a little bit anxious about?
If I'm being honest, I think leaving home is something I'm definitely more nervous
Mhm.
about because I've I've lived in New York pretty much all my life. So that's why I'm kind of like not like forcing myself to do it,
Yeah.
but I think I need to for myself is just kind of like, I love having my connections in Buffalo, but then also expanding my network and saying like I have these connections here. So I think it's important to do, but at the same time, I'm also very nervous about the next step. Like I said, the unknown can be very exciting, which is the part I'm really excited about, but also like I'm kind of scared because it's like, say I end up 20 hours away. Like
Yeah.
that's scary stuff, especially like we just said, like we're 21 years old. It doesn't feel like we're super adulty yet. So I think that's kind of
No.
scary is like actually doing real things for yourself. So I'm
Yeah.
kind of nervous about that.
And I think that's a very common thing to feel. And I'm sure that there's a lot of straight flights to down south. So so
Probably
so that 20 hours won't be so bad. And I think that you're probably, being a damer for the last 4 years, I think that you are more prepared now to go
oh
down
for
south.
sure.
Yeah, yeah. How about you, Chase? What are you most anxious about?
I think just like being a new grad and knowing that I won't have all the answers right away and like that kind of scares me a bit just because like people obviously in the business world have their niche and their answers that in their contacts that they can reach out to right away and this is all like brand new to me so I think the although Maddie's excited for the unknown, that's the thing that kind of scares me the most is like not having all the answers and not having it all figured out. But yeah, I think I'm doing better than a lot of people, so I can't be too afraid or complain because I do have a position waiting for me. But in the end, I think some things are still common, whether you are totally uncertain or you have a plan somewhat going forward.
I think every stage of life, you don't feel, you know, um, ready, I guess, and you think that you're not prepared. And that can be, from graduating from school to getting married to having kids. Like there's no playbook. You just have to figure it out and kind of wing it along the way and you act like you do until you know that you are, and then you're ready. Do you feel pressure to have this all figured out before you cross the stage. What's that feel like right now?
In my opinion, I feel like the outside world almost expects college graduates to be kind of a hot mess. And so I think it's more of an internal pressure than it is like an external pressure because I'm very like structured. Like I don't really like the uncertain and I don't like not knowing what I'm doing. So I feel like the pressure is definitely there, but it's not really from people outside. It's more from myself, I would say.
Okay. How about you, Madeline?
I absolutely agree with the internal pressure. That's the thing. Like, I feel like I've always had this like structure. Like, I committed to Damon in like October of 2021. So like, and we graduated in June of 2022. So I was like very on top of it. Like, I knew I was like, nope, I don't want to wait. I just want to have everything decided. So I definitely think I feel a pressure for sure that I need to have everything figured out. And obviously, like Chase said, like there's an internal pressure, but I have a feeling like surely that comes from somewhere. Like there has to be an external force that's kind of like giving that pressure to us. But I think it's kind of from just like seeing these unrealistic things, and whether it's like on social media or just like talking to other people that sometimes like they're like, oh, I can do this and this. And like sometimes there's only like half the truth to that, but that creates like an internal pressure within us, I think. So there's definitely a lot of pressure, but I think sometimes it's like overhyped. So like personally, like I said, I love the uncertainty and I think it's exciting, but it's kind of nerve-wracking because it's like you do feel like at the step you have to have everything figured out. Or at least that's how I feel. But
You've got about like, I don't know, 2 months, I guess, before you cross this line. Do you hear a lot of other classmates? Like, are they just trying to get through the exams and midterms and finals, or are they starting to feel the pressure? Like, do you see it? Do you hear it? Or is it not hitting yet?
And I don't think that really anyone's really talking about it yet. I think everyone might just be in like a state of denial, but they're just like, it's just not really a thing. Like we're just kind of at this point, I don't think it feels like we're really moving on to the next step yet, just because it's not like finals week yet, and people probably don't even think about it until then. But I don't think people are really talking about it as much as they should be.
The colleges will start to have functions and events and get-togethers and all that kind of stuff. What I really recommend that you both do, enjoy that time, whatever that is, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks before. Try to get involved, try to go to as many events, try to get to say your goodbyes and enjoy those last moments. You both are very intelligent women. You will do very well. But try to enjoy the moment because those moments in our life, they go by too fast. And then all of a sudden you're like, wow, like how did I get to be out of college 10 years already? Like that will happen before you can even blink an eye. And you're going to be thinking, wow, how did I do that so quickly? So enjoy this time. Really, really try to just be involved in all the things that are going to be happening. And you'll start seeing it probably a month ahead. They'll start talking about the things that they're going to be doing. And just try to put it into your schedule because I think it's important to have that balance. And those friends, some of those friends you're going to have for the rest of your life. So you want to make sure that you kind of enjoy it together. So what have you done, do you think, during college to prepare, like internships, networking, LinkedIn? What are the types of things, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year, that maybe in freshman year you didn't think was so important, but as things started to progress, you started to pick up on things that you needed to do? What were those things that you've done that you think made a difference, maybe on your resume, maybe on your LinkedIn profile?
Yeah, I've done an internship, obviously. So I've had the pleasure to do one with Karen actually. So that was really, really great and really helped me prepare for the outside world and just really any opportunity. But I also did attend networking events at Damon. So I got to meet some professionals and Also, Damon does have a few classes that kind of are tailored to professional development, so which are required of all the business students. So that really helped me build my LinkedIn profile, my resume, things like that. So kind of chipping away at the things that you should be doing is like almost required of us here. So I think all of those things in combination kind of helped me prepare for stepping into an outside position after college.
Okay. And Madeline, what do you think you've been doing over the last four
I kind
years?
of have a lot. So I like this question a lot because I think like when I came in freshman year, I'm also a tour guide. So like sometimes I give tours and I see the freshmen and I'm like, here's the career services. And they're like, okay, I don't care about that. But like career services helped me so much when I was applying to my internships. They helped me build like a resume and a cover letter and helped secure my internship that I had. Because I did complete an internship and my opportunity was kind of cool. It was sent to me by my advisor. And so I had like filled out the application, I interviewed, and it was a great fit. So I interned with them for a bit, and it was supposed to just be like a semester long. But they were like, "We love what you're doing." They're like, "Please stay with us over the summer." So
Wow.
I was able to stay on campus over the summer and extend that internship into like a part-time job, which is really cool. And then I extended that into the beginning of last semester as well. So that was a really cool opportunity that was just from going to career services and having all of that ready, talking to my advisor and meeting with him. So like that's a really cool opportunity. So I think that's super important to take advantage of is what we have available on campus and just kind of using the people around you.
Yeah.
But then also I think just jumping on opportunities when they're present. So I run cross country and track, but also we have the student athlete advisory committee and I'm on the executive board for that. And I'm very chatty and very outgoing. So for me, like I hopped on that opportunity and I was able to go to like a leadership expo for Division II and all of the NCAA in Indianapolis
Oh, wow.
in November. So like that was a really cool opportunity. And I
Yeah.
put it on my LinkedIn and I utilized that. And that's just another opportunity. So I think like taking advantage of everything available to you is really, really important. Because some people are just like, oh, whatever, like, yeah, it's there, but I don't want to do it because it's extra work. But
Yeah.
it's like, you never know what can come from those opportunities.
Yeah, I think that's 100%. You have to take the initiative, first of all, to kind of um, find out about those things. But especially like with smaller schools like Damon, you have the connections. Like you can go in and talk to your advisor. You can go in and talk to career services. You can meet with people at different events. And if you take advantage of those things, it's amazing what comes out of those. If you don't, you really lose out. And that's really what's most important. If you're just starting college or you've only been in for a year or two, um, take a look at the services that your university or college has. And, take a friend if you feel uncomfortable, because not everybody is comfortable walking into a room where they don't know anybody. So take somebody, and they don't even have to be in the same major, but they'll learn because just those experiences of introducing yourself to somebody, that's scary the very first time you have to do that. Like, I remember with the networking events that I would watch the students, and some of them would just circle the outside part of it. They wouldn't want to go in and actually talk to somebody. And I would walk over to them and kind of guide them over and then make the introduction first. And then once that happens, they just, they feel more comfortable. So yeah, 100% take advantage of everything that you've got going on at the university. So when do you think that it clicked for both of you that you needed to get serious about the things that you did in college so that it would help you post grad?
Yeah, for me, it was like I also started as a physician assistant major. Maddie and I kind of made the same transition, which is really odd, but we kind
Yeah.
of did it in the same steps. Unfortunately for me, I stayed in the program a bit longer, so I was 2 years in when I decided to switch to business. So I think that transition automatically, like the business department really hounded on the fact that like you need to kind of be serious about what you're doing afterwards, because to be honest, there's a lot of business majors like around. Like it's a pretty saturated field. So if you're not doing anything to stand out in that realm, then you're gonna not really have many opportunities when you graduate. So for me, like right when I made that switch from PA to business, although I did have like a set in stone thing to always fall back on, I think I was always pretty serious about what I was doing, how I was tailoring my education to what I want to do when I graduate, and also making connections because you never know what can come about just a simple conversation with somebody.
Mhm. How about you, Madeline? When did you realize that you needed to get serious? Or maybe you were always serious about what you were doing.
I mean, honestly, this might sound bad, but I don't think I got super serious about it until maybe my junior year. Like, I
Okay.
think that's when we started hearing about like apply for your internships. And then I was like sitting in class and I was like, oh, that's probably a good idea. I probably should get on that at some point. And because like sometimes I think like in college you get stuck in like this own little like mindset of like, oh, I'm gonna be here forever and life is great and I don't have to worry about anything. I just take my tests and do my homework.
Yeah.
But it's like Jay said, you really have to like tailor because business is like so saturated. Like it's a very popular major, so you really have to do a lot that makes you stand out.
Mhm.
So I think the sooner you can realize like, hey, lock in, like start doing some things that really make you stand out as a person. So I think, like I said, for the last question, doing things that like taking advantage of opportunities and building that network on campus and those relationships is really important. But like that's something I wish I had done was start even sooner. So I think like if I still think I'm in a good position, even though I started really like beginning of my junior year, but I wish I had started even sooner.
Hmm. Okay. I think everybody finds, their way at different points,
Yeah.
depending on what they're thinking about doing. What are you doing this semester to position yourself well?
I kind of touched on this before. I find myself always tailoring like the information that I learn in class, and I try to absorb it and kind of figure out a way to utilize it in a way that, I can use in the future for my position. Like for example, in my accounting classes, like they give us way like amortization schedules and things like that, and like I kind of save that as a file on my computer because I know obviously you're going to need a mortgage and you're going to need things and you're going to have to understand these things in the future.
Mhm.
So I find myself really getting a little bit more serious and kind of saving things or finding ways to utilize material for the position that I'm stepping into. Obviously, I took management classes before, but I kind of just took them to get through them. I didn't really take them to absorb the information, unfortunately. So now I'm kind of finding ways to bring new information to the table because obviously the people in the business that I'm stepping into haven't been to college in 15 years. So the information that I have to bring to the business is a new information, new ways of doing things. So I'm just trying to kind of gather all of that and kind of keep it in a place where I can present it in the future to be helpful and, advance the business is my
That's
goal right now.
Yeah, that's great that you're looking down the road a little bit.
Yeah.
So, gathering the information that you need. What about you, Madeline? What are you doing in this final semester to kind of help
Um,
yourself?
yeah, in this final semester, some big things for me. I'm taking a class actually with Dr. Joyle right now. It's marketing 412, I want to say. But that class I really enjoy because actually I have it later today. But we create our own moderations where we kind of analyze a bunch of articles and do a lot of like do a bunch of research and then kind of present it to the class to create a group discussion. And I really like that. I'm concentrating in marketing, so I would love to go into marketing in the future. So for me right now, having the opportunity in class to like create those conversations, decide like kind of be a little controversial and try and like cause a little bit of debate in class, I think is really awesome. So like having the opportunity to just like kind of do my own marketing is really, really cool.
Yeah.
So that's something I'm really doing right now in this last semester is kind of placing a lot of emphasis on that class specifically
Yeah.
because my internship ended last semester. I mean, I have my outside jobs, which I'm really like I'm also building connections slowly with that to try and see like, oh, if you need a marketer in the future, let me know. Like obviously not worded like that, but
Yeah.
I do try and like talk to as many people as I can about my like professional career, what I'm looking to do. And I try and build strong connections and build good relationships with people that
Hmm.
even just like my part-time job, like things like that. And honestly, I have had opportunities arise where just by like word of mouth and just having those discussions where people I've worked with or, a connection of theirs has reached out and was like, hey, Madeline, we heard that you're in marketing. Like, do you have any tips or advice for us? So just things like that. I think just kind of like building yourself up is also another really cool thing that you can do for yourself, especially in like that last semester before you get into like the field,
Yeah.
is kind of like selling yourself.
And I think that it's a little bit easier when you do it in school and you have these conversations because you can kind of fall back on the school. When you graduate, you are your person and you are representing only yourself. And so there's a little bit of a difference. And so it gives you a little bit more confidence when you're in college to be able to do that because you can always say, well, it was a college class that I was taking that I have to do this for. But
Right.
when you're out there, you don't have to have to fall back on. Is there anything that you wish that you had started earlier to do in college?
I wish that I started searching for internship opportunities before I did, but the way that my path kind of laid out, I didn't start in the business program until the start of my junior year. So I
Mm,
didn't want to search for an internship opportunity right away because I had no sorts of education under my belt before then. But in the reality, I probably could have started looking and applying, and then by the end of the summer, where I had a, year or two under my belt, then I would have had that opportunity. But I thought that I was just so far behind everybody that like I really wouldn't get anything because of the
mhm.
way that my education was. So I ended up in a good position, but it didn't always start out that way. So for me, I kind of wish I would have went through that process a bit sooner, and maybe I would have been able to have, one or two at internships instead of just the one that I did.
Yeah.
Um, so that's the thing that I kind of wish that I started to do before.
Yeah, and I think that whole experience just helped you realize that life doesn't always work out the way we thought it was going to, but it worked out fine. So I think that that's a good lesson to have before you kind of get out there on your own, that things are going to change for both of you, thinking that you knew what you wanted when you first started. And then having that is a very big deal because your mindset is, I'm going to go do this. And then all of a sudden you start to see these things like, yeah, no, I don't think I'm going to be doing this. But then what the heck am I going to do? And having to go through that moment of, I don't know, I guess I'm putting words in your mouth, but did you feel a little panicked when that happened?
I think that's
For
almost
sure.
an understatement. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and again, it does happen a lot. And I suggest that when students in high school are thinking about college, not only look for the degree that you think you're going to go for, but make sure that there's enough other degrees that you can choose from just in case. Because when you're in college and you have to make that choice, you may have already made friends. You may already like the campus and the school and all of that. So you might not want to leave that school to go find another school that has the degree that you're looking for. So most students aren't looking for the backup plan. They're just looking for the degree that they really want. And you both were lucky that there were other options at Damon that you could choose from so they could still continue with your friends and with how comfortable you felt on campus. So Madeline, you're thinking about going to grad school. So what is your mindset on how you're deciding to do it now versus down the road a little bit?
Yeah. So for me, my mindset right now is kind of like I'm in that college mode. I'm like, you know, just kind of rolling with it, honestly. Like I'm so used to like having a schedule, waking up, like going to class, taking exams. So that's kind of my thought. I also run cross country and track, and I have an extra year of eligibility, which isn't a huge factor into it, but
Yeah.
um, it just kind of works out that I have the opportunity to like do that as well. So just kind of with the momentum going forward, that's how I personally work best. So as opposed to like doing it later, because I like Chase said, like obviously once you're in the field, you kind of have to continue your education regardless if you're actually obtaining a degree from it or not.
Yeah.
So I think it is for me, I would just like to do it all and then kind of have it going forward before I commit myself to a position and
Uh-huh.
then say like, oh, I want to advance further, but they require a master's degree. So then I have to like kind of backtrack.
Hmm.
So I just like that motivation and that kind of that final push. And I'm looking to do a program that's accelerated, so I only have 12 to 18 months left of school.
Yeah, wow, that is accelerated.
Yes.
Um, and I think that, there are students who are going to go right to grad school and get it done. And then there are students who want to go out, get some experience, see if they need the MBA or whatever other degree that is. Maybe have the company that they're working for pay for some of it or help them pay for it. So there's so many different options to go, and there's no right or wrong. It just whatever, fits right. I know that a lot of people feel like they need to go right after because they are in that mode. They,
Mhm.
they're used to tests and exams and all that. And if they give themselves a break, they might not want to go back
Right.
into that. So yeah, you have to know yourself and you have to know what feels right. And so I think that there's lots of different options and just, I guess, don't feel the pressure from anybody. Just figure out what you really want at that moment. So let's look at 1 year from now. Now, Chase, you'll have 1 year working in the world. And Madeline, you'll be just about to graduate from grad school. So, what does or what will, do you think, success look like for both of you?
I think for me specifically in this next year, I think just gaining a sense of confidence and like belief in myself that I'll be able to obtain the things that I want to do is like gonna be my, measure of success at this point because everything is so uncertain at the moment. Like, who knows if I'll really love the position that I'm in, even though it is my family business. Like, nobody really knows the set in stone plan. So just ensuring that I'm in the place that I feel is best for me and kind of gaining confidence in that and growing as a professional, I think is just the measure of success that I'm looking to strive for. I don't think it has to be any huge job accomplishment or anything like that. I think just growing in myself and, taking the people around me are to a better place is ultimately like where I see myself in the next year specifically.
Okay. And Madeline, how about you? What does success look like?
Success for me in the next year, I think, is kind of having more of a sense of like calmness because I think right now, like where Chase and I are both at, I mean, obviously like different things like grad school, career, like two different things. But I think they're both very stressful and there's still like that unknown factor, which I said is exciting, but also like excitement is also a channel for like nerves and things like that. So I think success for me will just be able to say like, "Whew, I'm good, I'm okay, I'm where I need to be." And like I don't think I at any point, regardless of what I do, am I gonna look back in a year and say like, this is the wrong decision. I shouldn't have done this. I wish I hadn't done this. So for me, I think within a year, a point of success would be just being able to say with confidence to myself that I did it, the world didn't end, all is well.
And remember this too, just as perspective. You're both 21 or around 21. You have more than 40 years ahead of you to work.
Yeah.
So, do you really have to have it figured out in the first year? No. You've got plenty of time to kind of go up and down and just try different things. And I think that if people look at it, it's very microscopic when they're looking at it in 1 year, 2 years, 5 years. But when you look at it at 40 years, that's a whole different ball game. Like you can make a lot of changes and a lot of growth. I mean, think of the growth that you'll have in even 10 years time. So just kind of keep that in mind as you're going through. Now, if things don't go as planned over the next year or two, what's your backup like mindset on that? Because n nothing ever works out exactly how we all planned it. So how do you think about that?
I think for me, it's like obviously there's things that you can do to prepare for an unexpected change, like keep your resume updated, keep your LinkedIn updated, like things like that. So that kind of gives me some peace of mind that I have this material to fall back on in case if something does happen. But ultimately, I think what gives me peace in that is knowing that like as long as you're true to yourself, as long as you're a good person, you're trying your best, like there will be people that will try and extend their arm out for you in the most part. Like so ultimately just do your best and things will kind of fall into place no matter what situation you end up in. So that's kind of the mindset I like to have, whether that's true or not. I think in my experience, it's always been mostly true. So I don't really have a reason to, flip that. But I like to be optimistic in that just so that I don't fear the unknown as much as I probably should. So that's what I kind of like to fall back on for the most part.
That sounds good to me. How about you, Madeline?
Um, for me, I mean, what I have comfort in knowing is kind of that like I'm from, I don't want to like just target this towards Damon students, but I like knowing that like I went to Damon and they have an extensive like alumni network. Like
Mm.
even after we graduate, there are still resources for us to utilize and take advantage of. And people like connections we can reach out to that are gonna say like, it's okay, like don't freak out. We can help you out here. So like knowing that we have like all these connections that we made during our time in undergrad, and like she said, like people are going to like are willing to like reach their arm out to you and kind of like help you out. So I think like for me, if I do have a moment of like freak out or I'm not really sure what my next step is, or things don't go as planned, I have some comfort in knowing that like Damon is kind of like my little home back here. So I can always like count on the people and the connections that I've made during my time here, and that like things are still available to me. So I'm not like, oh, well, tough luck. Like you're just stuck now. Like I can always come back and like, lean on the people that have had my back for the past 4 years.
Hmm. I think you're absolutely right. And I think just in general, people out there are willing to extend themselves as long as you are genuine about what it is that you want and what you need and going back to all the connections that you've made over the last 4 years, you've got a toolbox full of things that you can lean on. And life will have ups and downs, but honestly, it's no big deal. Like, you write them out and there's always a solution to everything that you have to go through. So, final question. If you could send one honest message to your classmates and those out there that are about to graduate and be the class of 2026 about life and about careers after college, what would it be?
Ugh, that's a tough one. Like, life after college doesn't just immediately become certain. Like, and I think that's an unrealistic expectation to have. And it's okay to feel like you're in the unknown. But I would just advise to like remain patient and adaptable. And oftentimes the discomfort leads to a greater sense of change and a greater, growth personally. So I think that like just be comfortable in being uncomfortable, I guess, for the most part after college.
Great advice. How about you, Madeline?
I think for me, it's to just kind of like you said earlier, just to kind of have fun. Like we're graduating, like we put in the work, we put in the time. Like we wouldn't be receiving the degree if we didn't know what we were doing realistically. Like
Mhm.
it's okay. So I think my biggest piece of advice for our class would just be to like take a deep breath. Like we deserve to be here. Everyone deserves what we're earning. So I think it's just to like not place so much pressure on ourselves. So I know Chase and I feel it for sure. Like we want to have it figured out, and a lot of it's internal. So, and I know like a lot of other people that are in the same like department as us also feel that same pressure. So I think it's kind of like remove that pressure. It's okay. We are prepared. We earned this. Rely on what you know, and like don't doubt yourself.
I think that's sound advice as well. So, what I appreciate about this conversation was honesty. You both shared how you really feel, which everybody out there feels the same way that you feel. Then the transition from college to the real world, it's exciting. It really is. but it can also feel uncertain. And you can hold both of those at the same time. And that's completely normal. The important thing to remember is that there is no single path that everyone has to follow. So some people land their job right away, others take time to explore and discover, and many opportunities that they probably never even expected are out there. What matters most is just stay curious, staying open, and continuing to take those steps forward. To Madeline and Chase, thank you so much for sharing, for spending some time, sharing your thoughts and your perspectives. I know that there's a lot of people who are feeling the exact same way that you do right now. So thank you very much for the time that you've spent with us today.
Thank you. It was
Yeah,
such
thank you.
And for those listening, if you like these types of conversations and stories, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, and share this episode with someone who might just need to hear it. Thank you for spending the time with us today. And let's remember, be kind out there. It starts with you and me. Have a great day.